imagine you are sitting in the back seat of a car, going 70 miles an hour down the highway.
Right.
The rain is just pouring down, and you look to the front, and the steering wheel is turning by itself.
Wow.
Yeah, there's absolutely no human driver sitting in the front seat. So the question is, are you terrified, or, are you actually safer than you have ever been?
I mean, that is a question that completely changes how we think about the world around us, really.
It totally does.
Because, well, transportation is something we all use every single day. We use it to go to school, to go to work, to visit our family.
Right, getting groceries, getting medicine, all of that.
Exactly. But the moment you take the human hands off the steering wheel, you suddenly realize just how incredibly complicated moving from point A to point B really is.
And that is our mission for this deep dive today. We're exploring the massive shift that artificial intelligence is bringing to transportation.
It is a huge topic.
It really is. So we are going to examine the physical reality of self-driving cars, the complex data networks of smart cities, and even skies filled with delivery drones.
Yeah, we really want to understand the incredible benefits of giving machines control of our physical world.
Right.
But we also have to confront the very real, literal life or death dangers that come with it.
Absolutely, because AI promises to make transportation faster, safer, and much smarter.
It does, but to understand how it can change an entire city, we really need to start small. I mean, we have to look at the massive challenge of teaching a computer how to operate just one single vehicle on a basic road.
Okay, let us unpack this, because, human driving feels incredibly simple to us.
Right, it feels almost like a habit.
Exactly. You sit down, you look through the windshield, and you just press the gas pedal. But for a computer, it is actually an overwhelming amount of information to process all at once.
Yes. So the defining feature of a self-driving car, just to be clear, is that it operates with little or no human control.
Meaning the machine is doing all the work.
Exactly. It has to constantly ask itself a series of vital questions, like where exactly is the edge of the road?
Right.
Are there traffic lights ahead? And, what color are they? Where are the pedestrians walking? Are there other cars moving around me?
And most importantly, is there any immediate danger nearby?
Precisely. And when a human driver asks those questions, we just use our eyes and our ears.
We look and we listen.
Right. But a computer does not have human eyes or ears. It has to rely on a specific set of physical tools which kind of act like its senses.
Okay, so what are those tools?
Well, it uses cameras, radar, lidar, sensors, and maps. And all of these feed into a central computer system.
Let us walk through how these actually work together, slowly, because it is fascinating to me.
Sure. So the most basic tool is the camera. The cameras on a self-driving car are constantly looking at the road.
Like taking a video.
Basically, yes. They are capturing pictures many, many times every single second. And the artificial intelligence looks at these pictures to identify the painted lines on the road, the colors shining from the traffic lights, and the physical shapes of other cars.
Okay, but wait. Cameras need light to see clearly, right?
They do.
Like, if I try to take a picture on my phone in a really dark room, I get nothing. It is just black. So what happens to the car if it is driving at night, or if it, suddenly drives into extremely thick fog?
Well, that is exactly the vulnerability of a camera,
Yep.
and it is exactly why the car needs a layered system of senses.
Okay.
To handle darkness and fog, the car uses radar.
Radar. Okay, how does that work for a car?
So radar is a technology that uses invisible radio waves. The car sends out these waves of energy in all directions.
Right.
And when those radio waves hit an object in the physical world, they bounce back to the car.
Oh, I see. So it's almost like the car is throwing out an invisible net to sort of feel what is around it.
That is a perfect way to describe it, yes.
So even if it is completely dark, the radar waves bounce off the car in front of you, and your car knows, okay, there is a large object right there.
Precisely. Radar is excellent for detecting objects. But knowing an object there's not enough. You need to know exactly what the object is.
Right. Is it a car or a person or a wall?
Exactly. And you need to know exactly how far away it is. That is where a technology called LiDAR comes in.
LiDAR. So that is different from radar.
Yes. LiDAR is used specifically to measure distance. It works a bit like radar, but instead of radio waves, it uses lasers.
Wait, really? Lasers, like beams of light?
Yes, but very fast pulses of light. The LiDAR system sends out thousands of tiny light pulses every single second.
Okay, thousands of them.
Right. And these pulses of light travel outward, and they bounce off everything around the car. They bounce off the trees, the people, the buildings, the other cars.
Just hitting everything.
Exactly. And the computer times exactly how long it takes for that light to leave the car, hit the object, and bounce back.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because light travels at a specific speed, right? So if you know how long the trip took, you know exactly how many meters away the object is.
Exactly. That is exactly the math it is doing. And because it sends out thousands of these pulses in all directions, the artificial intelligence can use all those distance measurements to build a perfect three-dimensional picture of the world around it.
Wow.
It is not just feeling a vague object like the radar does. It knows the exact shape and the exact distance of everything nearby.
Okay, let me make sure I'm getting this. So the camera sees the colors and the lines. The radar feels the heavy objects through the fog. The LiDAR measures the exact distance and shape of everything to build a 3D map of the environment.
Yes, you got it.
But the car still needs to know its destination, right? I mean, all those senses just tell it what is happening right outside the door.
That is true. And that is why the system also relies heavily on digital maps.
Maps.
Right. The maps help the car understand the broader route. The sensors tell the car what is happening right now, but the map tells the car that it needs to turn left at the next street to actually reach the destination.
Right, right.
And all of this data, the camera images, the radar waves, the LiDAR distances, and the maps, it all pours into the car's computer systems simultaneously.
That is a staggering amount of data.
Mm.
And that computer system has to make decisions instantly based on all of that.
It really does.
Let us slow down and really look at the mechanics of those decisions, because I think this is where it gets crazy.
Sure.
Imagine a very common scenario. A pedestrian is crossing the street.
Okay.
The rule for the AI is clear, right?
Yeah.
If a pedestrian is crossing, the car must slow down or stop.
Right.
But how does that actually happen in real time from the computer's perspective?
Well, it is a constant chain of events. So first, the camera captures an image of a shape moving toward the street. Then the LiDAR shoots out its laser pulses, and the pulses bounce off that shape. The computer analyzes that 3D shape and identifies it as a human being.
Wow. It just knows from the shape.
Right. And the LiDAR measures that the human is, let us say, exactly 20 meters away and moving closer.
Okay, so it sees the person, it knows how far they are.
Right. And then the artificial intelligence applies its learned rules. It knows humans always have the right of way.
Of course.
So it translates that digital understanding into a physical action. The computer sends an electronic signal to the physical brakes of the car.
It actually pushes the brakes.
Well, it applies the exact amount of pressure needed to bring the vehicle to a smooth stop right before it reaches the pedestrian.
That is incredible. Just happening in a fraction of a second.
Yes. And the same logic applies to traffic lights.
Okay.
As the car approaches an intersection, the camera looks up. It captures an image of the light changing from green to yellow and then to red.
Right, because it can see color.
Exactly. The artificial intelligence processes that color change, applies the rule that red always means stop, and engages the brakes to halt the car at the correct painted line on the road.
Right, right. But, I mean, those are predictable situations. You know, a traffic light does not just jump out at you.
That is true.
What happens when something completely unexpected occurs? Like if another car suddenly swerves into your lane, the AI is supposed to react quickly, but that just seems incredibly difficult.
It is. It really is the ultimate test of the system. If a car next to you suddenly moves into your lane without warning, the radar and the LiDAR instantly detect that a large object is getting too close, far too quickly.
Because the distance is shrinking so fast.
Exactly. The artificial intelligence has to calculate a response in a fraction of a second. It has to decide, is it safer to slam on the brakes, or is it safer to turn the steering wheel to avoid the collision?
And it has to know if there's another car in the other lane before it decides to turn the steering wheel. I mean, it is a massive calculation. This really highlights why teaching a machine to drive is so extraordinarily difficult.
It really is.
Because human drivers handle so many variables naturally, almost without thinking. We just swerve. But an AI has to be explicitly programmed to handle every single one of those choices.
Yeah, and think about the weather. We talked about fog, but what about heavy rain or snow?
Oh, snow's awful to drive in.
Right. When bright sunlight changes to a blizzard, the entire world looks completely different to a machine. Snow covers the painted lines on the road.
Oh, true.
And if the camera cannot see the lane markers, the AI loses a very critical piece of information.
Or think about the road conditions themselves. Like, a human driver can easily see that a road is broken or bumpy or covered in loose gravel, and they will just naturally slow down.
Yes.
But the AI has to actually learn how to identify those specific conditions and adjust its driving style just from its sensors.
Exactly. But the most unpredictable variable of all, however, is human behavior.
Oh, absolutely.
Because human drivers do not always follow the rules perfectly.
No, we really do not.
People speed, they roll through stop signs, they make illegal turns. The artificial intelligence cannot just assume everyone else on the road will behave perfectly. It has to constantly anticipate unpredictable actions from other drivers.
Plus, they're the completely random, unexpected situations.
Right.
Like a child's ball rolls into the street.
Right.
Or a dog runs out from behind a parked car. Or a heavy tree branch just falls right onto the highway.
Yes.
The AI must learn how to identify and safely react to all of these unique events.
And that is exactly why, because the physical world is so complex and so full of variables, self-driving technology absolutely requires massive, careful testing.
We really have to be certain the machine can handle the unpredictable chaos of the real world before we can trust it completely.
Exactly.
Well, that makes perfect sense for one individual vehicle.
Yes.
But if an artificial intelligence can successfully gather all this sensor data to guide one single car safely, a bigger question emerges.
What is that?
What happens when we use AI to gather data from thousands of cars at the exact same time?
Yes. When you scale the technology up like that, you move from managing a single vehicle to managing an entire city.
Right.
And this brings us to the concept of AI and traffic management.
And anyone who lives in a city knows that traffic jams are a severe, severe problem.
They are terrible.
It is not just an annoyance when you are trying to get somewhere. I mean, traffic jams have deep negative impacts on our daily lives.
The most obvious impact is wasted time.
Oh, so much time.
People spend hours sitting in their cars waiting for the cars in front of them to move. And that is time taken away from working or time taken away from being at home with your family.
And beyond the lost time, there is a physical cost, too. Because when cars are stuck in traffic, their engines are still running.
Right.
They're burning fuel while going absolutely nowhere. And that wasted fuel literally costs drivers money.
It does, and that burning fuel creates a broader problem for the whole city, which is air pollution.
Yeah.
The exhaust from thousands of idling cars fills the air, which makes the environment worse, and it really impacts the health of everyone breathing that air.
Yeah, definitely. And, just sitting in all that noise and pollution makes drivers feel incredibly stressed.
Oh, people become very angry and anxious and tired.
Right.
Yeah.
And on a larger scale, traffic jams slow down the entire economy. Delivery trucks get stuck. If a store is waiting for fresh food or, you're waiting for a package at home, the traffic jam delays everything.
So obviously the goal is to eliminate the traffic jam.
Right.
But to understand how AI can help solve this, we really need to look at how traditional traffic systems currently operate.
Okay.
Most traditional traffic lights follow a very simple, fixed schedule.
Oh, wait, I know exactly what you mean. Like, the light is programmed to stay green for exactly 30 seconds, and then it turns red for exactly 40 seconds.
Yes.
It is essentially just a clock counting down
Yeah.
over and over again, no matter what.
Exactly. But real-world traffic does not behave like a predictable clock.
No, it is a mess.
Traffic is messy and it is unequal. So imagine sitting at that red light for 40 seconds. You are in a line of 50 cars.
Okay, I have been there.
Right. But when you look to the street crossing in front of you, the street that currently has the green light, there is absolutely no one driving on it.
Ugh, that is the most frustrating feeling. You are just sitting there, burning fuel, waiting for a completely empty street to use up its 30 seconds of green light.
Yes.
Because the fixed schedule does not care that your road is packed and the other road is empty. It just blindly follows the timer.
And a fixed timer also cannot adapt to sudden changes.
What do you mean?
Well, if there is a car accident that blocks a major lane, traffic immediately builds up. The timer does not know that. Or if there is a sudden heavy rainstorm, everyone naturally drives much slower, which changes the flow of cars.
Oh, right.
Or think about a big city event like a sports game or a large concert.
Right. When a concert ends, thousands of cars suddenly pour onto one specific street, all at the exact same time. A simple traffic light timer cannot possibly handle that sudden surge of vehicles.
Exactly. And this is where artificial intelligence offers a completely different approach. Instead of a blind timer, the AI uses a massive interconnected web of data.
Okay.
It gathers real-time information from many different sources all across the
I don't know
city.
what kind of sources we're talking about. Like, how does the city actually see the traffic?
Well, it uses traffic cameras mounted high above the roads to watch the flow of vehicles.
Okay.
It uses physical road sensors buried right under the pavement to count exactly how many cars drive over a specific spot.
Wow. Buried in the street.
Yes, it pulls location data from the GPS systems inside the vehicles themselves. It tracks the exact locations of city buses, and it can even analyze movement data from people's smartphones to see exactly where crowds are moving.
So instead of one intersection operating on its own little island, the AI is looking at the entire city like a giant chessboard.
That is exactly right.
It knows exactly where every single car is at the exact same moment.
And because it has all that data, the AI can actually predict where traffic jams are going to happen before they even form.
Wait, predict them.
Yes. If the system calculates that thousands of cars are heading toward a specific highway exit, it can send messages to the digital maps in other drivers' cars, guiding them to take a completely different route.
So it prevents the problem before it even starts.
Exactly. And it completely changes how the traffic lights work.
Right, because it is not just a timer anymore.
Exactly. The AI can adjust the lights based on the real-time conditions. If it sees that your street has 50 cars and the cross street has 0, it will simply turn your light green immediately.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Right, by constantly adjusting the timing of the lights everywhere in the city based on exactly where the cars actually are, the AI can dramatically reduce waiting times and keep the traffic flowing smoothly.
Wow.
And this interconnected system is the foundation of what we call a smart city.
I love that term, smart city. It means nothing is working in isolation.
That's exactly.
The traffic lights, the city buses, the trains, the parking garages, and the emergency vehicles are all communicating with each other through the central artificial intelligence.
Yes. And the true value of a smart city becomes very clear when we look at emergency situations.
Oh, sure.
Consider the example of an ambulance trying to reach a hospital. This perfectly illustrates the power of this technology.
Let us break that ambulance scenario down carefully. Because without a smart city system, an ambulance relies entirely on its siren and its flashing lights.
Right.
The driver pushes the gas pedal and just hopes people get out of the way.
Yes.
But if that ambulance comes around a corner and faces a red light with 20 cars stopped in all 3 lanes, the siren does not matter.
Yeah.
The cars physically cannot move out of the way quickly enough. The ambulance is trapped.
It happens all the time. But in an AI-managed smart city, the situation is completely transformed.
How so?
Well, the ambulance is digitally connected to the city's traffic management system. The AI knows the ambulance's exact GPS location, and it knows the exact route the ambulance needs to take to reach the hospital.
Okay, so let us say the hospital's 3 miles straight ahead. What does the AI do?
The artificial intelligence looks at every single traffic light along that 3-mile stretch. Long before the ambulance even approaches the first intersection, the AI reaches out and changes that specific traffic light to green.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. By turning the light green early, the regular cars waiting at that intersection have time to drive away.
So the road just completely empties out.
Yes, and the AI does not just do this for one light. As the ambulance drives forward, the AI creates a moving wave of green lights ahead of it.
And at the same time, is it turning the other lights red?
Yes. The AI is turning all the lights on the cross streets to red, ensuring that no other cars accidentally drive into the ambulance's path.
The result is that the ambulance gets a completely clear, uninterrupted path through the heart of the city. It does not have to stop at a single intersection. It never gets trapped behind a wall of stopped cars.
Right.
And when you are dealing with a medical emergency, every single minute is critical.
It truly is.
If the artificial intelligence can manage the traffic grid to get an ambulance to the hospital even 5 minutes faster,
Yeah.
that directly translates to saving human lives. I mean, it is a profound application of the technology.
It really is incredible. So we have seen how AI can manage the roads to guide individual self-driving cars and how it can control the city grid to fix traffic jams.
Right.
But roads have a fundamental limitation. What happens when the physical roads are blocked or damaged or simply not fast enough for our needs?
Well, when the ground fails, we have to look up.
Exactly.
And that leads us to the incredibly exciting area of drones and delivery systems. We are moving from the streets to the sky.
Yes. And to start, we should clearly define what a drone is, just so we're on the same page.
Sure.
Drones are flying machines that operate without a human pilot sitting inside them. And they can be controlled in two different ways, remotely or automatically.
Okay, so remotely means there is a human pilot on the ground, somewhere far away, controlling the drone's movements with a remote control. It is almost like a very complex video game.
Yes, exactly. But automatically means the drone is flying itself.
Wait, flying itself?
Yes. It uses its own artificial intelligence, along with GPS and sensors that are very similar to the self-driving car we talked about.
Oh, like cameras and radar.
Right, and it uses those to navigate through the air and reach its destination without any human input at all.
This automatic flight capability opens up enormous possibilities for delivering things like packages, food, medicine, and emergency supplies.
Huge possibilities.
And there is a specific scenario regarding rural medicine that I think perfectly highlights why this is so revolutionary.
Yes, let us walk through that scenario. Imagine a person living in a very rural area, miles and miles away from the nearest large city or hospital.
Okay.
They rely on one main winding road to connect them to the rest of the world.
Okay, I am picturing it.
Now imagine a severe storm hits that area. The heavy rain washes out a section of that main road. Or maybe a massive tree falls and completely blocks the path.
So the physical road is destroyed.
Exactly. And suddenly, the person living in that rural house has a medical emergency, and they need medicine immediately.
Oh, wow. In a world that relies entirely on ground transportation, this is a terrible crisis.
It is?
A traditional delivery truck or an ambulance simply cannot drive over a broken road or through a fallen tree. The person is completely cut off.
Yes. But a drone does not care about broken roads.
That is the beauty of it.
The drone can be loaded with the necessary medicine at the hospital, and because it flies through the air, it simply travels over the washed-out bridge.
It just goes right over it.
Right, it flies right over the fallen tree. It bypasses the physical obstacle entirely.
It travels in a straight line through the sky, arrives at the rural house, safely drops off the medicine, and automatically flies back to the hospital. By ignoring the limitations of the ground, the drone provides a solution that is otherwise physically impossible.
Yes, and that ability to completely ignore ground conditions makes drones absolutely essential for disaster management.
Oh, absolutely. When a large-scale disaster happens, the physical environment often becomes incredibly dangerous or even impossible to navigate.
Consider the aftermath of major disasters like a severe flood, a massive earthquake, a rapidly spreading wildfire, or a powerful hurricane.
Right.
In all of these situations, the normal infrastructure is totally ruined.
Yeah, like the roads might be hidden under 5 feet of rushing floodwater,
Exactly.
or they might be cracked wide open by an earthquake. They might be blocked by burning trees from a wildfire or covered in broken glass and collapsed buildings from a hurricane.
It is terrible, and human rescue teams face enormous difficulty simply entering these disaster zones. It might be far too dangerous to send emergency workers walking into a structurally unstable area.
That makes sense.
And this is precisely where AI drones become invaluable tools for the emergency responders.
So what do the drones actually do in a disaster?
Well, the drones can immediately be sent into the dangerous airspace to perform a variety of critical jobs. The first thing they can do is collect images.
I liked images.
Yes. They can fly high above the ruined city and use their cameras to take detailed pictures of the entire area.
Oh, I see. So those aerial images allow the human rescue teams who are sitting in a safe command center to see exactly where the worst damage is located.
Exactly. They can map out the safe paths before they ever send a human worker into the zone.
That is so smart.
The drones can also actively search for survivors.
How does that work?
Well, during a massive flood, a drone flying overhead can quickly scan the area using its cameras to locate people who might be trapped on the roofs of their houses, completely surrounded by water.
Wow.
Once survivors are located, the drones can perform their third critical job, which is delivering small supplies.
Like the medicine example we talked about.
Exactly like that. A drone can fly over the floodwaters and drop fresh drinking water, first aid bandages, or even a two-way radio down to the trapped people.
That is incredible. It keeps the survivors alive while the human teams figure out a way to actually safely reach them.
Yes.
The drones gather the information, they provide the initial support, and ultimately they keep both the victims and the human rescue workers much, much safer.
They really do. And while disaster response is a critical use, drones are also poised to change our everyday commercial lives.
Oh, for sure.
In the future, we may see drones regularly used to deliver small packages directly to people's homes much faster than traditional delivery trucks.
And this connects right back to our discussion about city traffic, does it not?
It does perfectly.
Because if you buy a small item online, like, say, a new phone or a pair of shoes, right now a large delivery truck has to drive all the way from a warehouse to your front door.
Right.
That truck takes up valuable space on the road, it is adding to the traffic jam, and it is burning fuel that creates pollution.
Exactly. But if a small electric drone flies that phone directly to your house, it completely removes that delivery truck from the city street.
It just takes the traffic out of the equation.
Yes. Using drones for everyday deliveries could significantly reduce the amount of road traffic while simultaneously improving the speed of the delivery.
However, actually filling the sky with delivery drones presents massive logistical hurdles. I mean, it is incredibly complex.
It really is. It is not as simple as just launching them.
Before this becomes a daily reality, we have to solve some very difficult questions about how these machines will operate safely in the air.
The first major question is regulating the airspace itself. Where exactly are drones allowed to fly?
Right.
You cannot just have thousands of automated machines flying wherever they want. We have to ensure they stay far away from commercial airports so they do not interfere with passenger airplanes.
Oh, that would be disastrous.
We also have to decide if they are allowed to fly over sensitive areas like schools or crowded public parks.
Then there is the physical challenge of the city and environment. How can drones avoid crashing into buildings?
Exactly. In a dense city filled with tall glass skyscrapers, the drone's sensors and artificial intelligence must be absolutely perfect at detecting the glass walls to prevent a collision.
And buildings do not move, but other things in the sky certainly do.
Yes.
How can a drone avoid birds or, other drones? If a bird suddenly flies aggressively toward a delivery drone, the drone cannot simply hit the brakes and stop in midair.
No, it cannot.
The artificial intelligence has to calculate a new flight path instantly to dodge the moving object.
Right. Another massive concern is privacy.
Oh, yeah.
How can people protect their privacy if drones are constantly flying overhead?
I mean, if a drone has high-powered cameras to help it navigate, people are going to worry that it is looking into their second-story windows or recording their private backyards as it flies past.
Absolutely. And finally, we have to address the worst-case scenario. What happens if a drone crashes? And who is legally responsible for the damage?
That is a tough one.
If a mechanical failure causes a drone carrying a package to fall out of the sky and smash the windshield of a parked car, who pays for the repair?
Is it the store that sold the item?
Right.
Or is it the company that built the drone? Or maybe the programmer who wrote the software?
These are incredibly tough questions,
Yeah.
and they lead us perfectly into looking at the broader picture.
We have explored how AI drives individual cars, how it connects city traffic grids, and how it navigates drones through the sky. Now, we need to summarize exactly what this massive technological shift means for our daily lives.
We want to carefully weigh the human impact here. This technology promises to transform how we live, offering 6 major benefits.
Okay, let us deliberately walk through each of these 6 benefits and explore exactly why they matter to you, the listener.
Yes, so the first massive benefit is simply less traffic.
Less traffic.
Right. As we discussed with the smart city systems, when an artificial intelligence is managing the traffic lights and communicating directly with the cars, the entire flow of the city becomes more efficient.
Right, the AI guides the vehicles, it prevents those bottlenecks, and it just reduces the time everyone spends sitting in traffic jams.
Exactly. The second benefit is perhaps the most vital of all: fewer accidents.
This is so important.
When we look at why traffic accidents happen today, the vast majority are caused by human mistakes. Human beings are imperfect drivers.
The reality is that humans engage in dangerous behaviors. People speed because they are late for work and feeling impatient. They want to get to their destination faster, so they break the safety rules.
Yes. And an artificial intelligence never feels impatient. It simply follows the programmed speed limit exactly, all the time.
And humans also get distracted easily.
Very easily.
A driver might look down at their mobile phone to read a text message or turn their head to speak to a passenger in the back seat. And in those few seconds where their eyes are off the road, a disaster can happen.
But the cameras and radar on an AI system never get distracted. They are intensely monitoring the road 100% of the time.
Then there are the tragic errors like drunk driving.
Yes. Alcohol impairs human judgment and severely slows down human reaction times.
Right.
But a computer system cannot consume alcohol. Its sensors remain perfectly clear, and its reaction time is consistently instant.
Finally, human drivers suffer from fatigue. If a person has been driving a truck for 10 hours straight, their brain gets tired, their eyes get heavy.
They might accidentally fall asleep at the wheel.
Exactly. But an artificial intelligence does not have a physical body. It never gets sleepy.
No, it does not.
It does not need coffee or rest. It performs with the exact same level of sharp attention at the end of a 10-hour trip as it did at the very beginning.
Because the AI eliminates impatience, distraction, impairment, and fatigue, it has the potential to dramatically reduce the number of accidents on our roads, making travel much safer for everyone.
That brings us to the third benefit, faster delivery.
Right.
By utilizing drones that fly over obstacles and autonomous trucks that can be perfectly routed through a city's AI traffic grid, companies can move goods and products much more quickly.
Yes. And the fourth benefit is better transportation efficiency.
What does that mean exactly?
This means making smarter use of the public vehicles a city already owns. A city can use data to intelligently manage its buses, trains, and public taxis.
Okay.
Instead of running a bus on a rigid schedule when no one is waiting for it, the AI can ensure vehicles are deployed exactly when and where people actually need them.
That makes perfect sense. Now, the fifth benefit is deeply meaningful on a personal level, I think. It is support for elderly and disabled people.
Yes. We often talk about AI in terms of speed and efficiency, but this technology also has the power to restore personal independence.
I think this is one of the most beautiful aspects of the technology. Think about someone who can no longer drive easily.
Right.
Perhaps they are elderly and their eyesight is no longer sharp enough to safely monitor the road. Or perhaps they have a physical disability that makes it difficult or impossible to operate a steering wheel and foot pedals.
In a traditional transportation system, those individuals lose their independence. If they want to go to the grocery store or visit a doctor or just go to the park, they cannot do it alone.
No.
They have to wait for a family member or a specialized service to come and drive them.
But a fully self-driving car changes their life completely. They do not need to operate the steering wheel or see the road perfectly. They simply get into the vehicle and tell the artificial intelligence where they want to go.
Exactly.
The machine does all the work, giving them back the freedom to travel independently whenever they choose.
It is a remarkable benefit. And the final sixth benefit on our list is enhanced emergency support.
Yes, the ambulance.
Right. As we detailed with the ambulance scenario, an AI traffic system that can instantly clear the roads for police cars, fire trucks, and ambulances will fundamentally improve how a city responds to life-threatening crises.
When you look at those 6 benefits, less traffic, fewer accidents, faster delivery, better efficiency, independence for the elderly, and faster emergency support, it is clear that AI transportation is not just about having futuristic gadgets.
No, not at all.
It is about improving the safety and accessibility of our society.
Those benefits sound incredibly promising. They really paint a picture of an almost perfect future. However, we must remain grounded in reality.
Right.
The reality is that transportation involves moving incredibly heavy machines made of metal at very high speeds near very fragile human bodies.
Yes, it is inherently dangerous. Because of that physical reality, the risks involved are literally life or death.
They are.
We cannot just focus on the exciting benefits. We must also deeply understand the roadblocks. We have to confront the major risks and challenges of putting AI in charge of our physical world.
The first, overarching risk is simply safety. The technology must be safe above all else. If a computer makes a wrong decision while driving a car, people will get hurt.
This is a crucial point because, if a computer program crashes while you are typing a document, it is annoying. You might lose some work.
Right.
But if the computer program crashes while driving a car at 70 miles an hour, it's a disaster. The margin for error is incredibly small.
And when a safety failure does occur, it immediately triggers the second major risk, which is legal responsibility.
Oh, this is a mess.
It is a massive unsolved puzzle. If an AI-driven car causes a serious accident, who exactly is to blame?
In a normal car, the answer is simple. If you are driving and you hit someone, you are responsible. But if the artificial intelligence is driving, the blame becomes deeply complicated. Let us examine the possibilities here.
Okay.
Is the owner of the car responsible? The owner bought the vehicle, but they were sitting in the back seat reading a book when the crash happened. They were not touching the controls.
Right. If it is not the owner, is it the software company? Perhaps the programmers wrote a piece of code that mistakenly told the car to turn left instead of right. Should the coders be held legally responsible for a physical accident?
Or is it the physical manufacturer of the car? What if the software was perfect, but the physical camera they installed had a defect that caused it to miss a stop sign?
Or perhaps it is the AI developer who initially trained the artificial intelligence system to recognize objects but failed to train it on a specific rare edge case.
This is a profoundly difficult legal question. And until lawmakers and society figure out exactly who takes the blame when things go wrong, it will be very difficult for these systems to be widely adopted.
Yes. The third major challenge involves privacy. To make a smart city work, the artificial intelligence requires a massive, constant stream of data.
So much data.
The AI transportation systems are designed to collect an enormous amount of information about the world and the people in it.
Think about the data being collected. The system tracks your exact location. It logs your daily travel routes. It learns your driving habits. It gathers camera images of your neighborhood.
It knows what time you leave your house every morning. It knows exactly which coffee shop you visit. It knows when you go to the hospital. All of this creates an incredibly detailed profile of your personal life.
And this raises vital questions about who controls that data, who is actually allowed to see it.
Right.
Can human employees at the tech company access your daily travel history?
Exactly.
How long is that data stored on their servers? Is it deleted after one day, or is it kept forever?
Furthermore, is the company allowed to sell your data? Could they sell your travel routes to advertisers so you start seeing targeted ads based on exactly where your car drives?
That is creepy.
And most importantly, can this vast database be misused by someone trying to track your movements?
That fear of misuse leads directly into the fourth risk, which is potentially the most frightening of all: hacking.
Yes.
We are talking about the extreme danger of cybersecurity failures. Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting computer systems from malicious attacks.
Right, because self-driving cars, drones, and smart city traffic lights are all computers connected to a network. They are vulnerable to hackers.
Of course.
If hackers successfully attack these transportation networks, the results could be catastrophic.
Imagine the nightmare scenario. A malicious hacker sitting at a computer thousands of miles away finds a way to break into the software of a delivery drone and take remote control of it.
That is scary enough.
Or far worse, imagine a coordinated cyber attack on a smart city's central AI system. What if a hacker takes control of the entire grid and intentionally turns every single traffic light in the city to green at the exact same moment?
Oh, wow. The resulting chaos and high-speed collisions across the entire city would be absolutely devastating.
Yeah.
This means the cybersecurity for AI transportation cannot just be good. It has to be practically impenetrable. The systems must be built to withstand constant sophisticated attacks.
And when you add all of these risks together, the fear of a safety failure, the complicated legal blame, the massive invasion of privacy, and the terrifying threat of hackers, it brings us to the fifth and final challenge: public trust.
Right. Even if the engineers build a system that works perfectly in testing, the general public may not be willing to use it immediately. Trust is not automatic. It has to be earned over time.
It is entirely natural for people to be deeply skeptical. Can I truly trust a heavy car that has no human driver sitting behind the wheel?
It is hard to imagine.
It goes against every instinct we have to climb into the back seat and let a machine handle the highway.
People will ask, can I trust a delivery drone flying over my house knowing it has cameras equipped? Can I trust a city management system that gives control of the emergency response routes to a central computer algorithm?
Giving a machine control over our physical safety requires a massive leap of faith.
It does.
To overcome this skepticism, the development of AI transportation must be completely transparent. Transparency means the companies building these systems must clearly explain exactly how the AI makes its decisions and exactly what it is doing with our personal data. There can be no hidden secrets.
In addition to transparency, the technology must be carefully regulated. The government needs to establish very strong, very clear rules to protect the public from both physical harm and data misuse.
When you look at the entire landscape we have discussed, you realize just how profound this transition is. I really appreciate the simple analogy our source material uses to put this shift into perspective. It compares AI in a car to an AI chatbot on your computer.
It is a brilliant comparison because if you are using an artificial intelligence chatbot on the internet to help you write an email or answer a trivia question, the stakes are incredibly low.
Right.
If the chatbot makes a mistake and gives you the wrong date for a historical event, nothing terrible happens. You just receive a wrong answer on your screen.
The digital world is forgiving. But the physical world is absolutely unforgiving. A small calculation mistake in an online chatbot is harmless.
Exactly.
A small calculation mistake in a self-driving car traveling at high speeds can cause a devastating accident. The stakes are entirely different when human bodies are involved.
That is why the conclusion we must draw is that AI should never be rushed into transportation simply for the sake of convenience.
Absolutely not.
The promise of this technology is immense. It can genuinely help people travel more easily, radically reduce traffic, improve emergency response, and build highly efficient cities.
But the progress must be deliberate. Safety must always be the absolute first priority, followed closely by transparency and responsibility.
Let us briefly recap the immense journey we have taken today.
Good idea.
We started by looking closely at the specific physical senses of a single self-driving car. We saw how the cameras, the radar, and the LiDAR all work together to build a three-dimensional understanding of the world.
Right, allowing the car to navigate complex situations like pedestrians and lane changes.
From there, we expanded our view to the entire city. We learned how a smart city uses a vast web of data from sensors and cameras to predict traffic jams before they happen.
And how it can literally change the traffic lights to create a clear green path for a speeding ambulance.
We then looked up to the sky to understand how automated drones can completely bypass broken roads and physical obstacles to deliver vital medicine in rural areas.
Or search for survivors in the aftermath of a terrible disaster.
We carefully weighed the amazing human benefits, like the massive reduction in accidents caused by human error, and the beautiful restoration of independence for the elderly and disabled.
But we weighed those against the very serious roadblocks we must overcome.
We examined the complex legal puzzle of who takes the blame in a crash, the vital importance of protecting our private location data,
The terrifying threat of hackers taking control of the physical grid, and the ultimate challenge of earning the public's trust.
It is a delicate balance. AI has the power to make our transportation networks infinitely smarter, but the engineers and the lawmakers must ensure it also makes them safer.
Before we finish our discussion today, I think we need to look at the logical conclusion of everything we have talked about.
I agree, and I want to leave you with a final provocative thought, something for you to really mull over on your own.
Okay?
Throughout our conversation today, we talk a lot about human mistakes. We discussed how humans speed, how we get distracted by our phones, how some people make the terrible choice to drive drunk, and how we all inevitably get tired.
And we contrasted those human flaws with the artificial intelligence, which never drinks, never sleeps, and never takes its eyes off the road. We also talk about how AI must slowly prove itself to earn our public trust.
But I want you to imagine reversing that idea. Think about 50 years into the future. Imagine that the artificial intelligence systems have been tested, refined, and proven to be vastly superior to human drivers.
Okay, I am imagining it.
The statistics prove clearly that the machines simply do not crash, while humans continue to make fatal errors.
If the data proves that human drivers are statistically the greatest danger on the road, it raises a fascinating and difficult question.
It does.
If the AI becomes perfectly safe, will there come a day when human beings are no longer legally allowed to drive their own cars at all? Will the act of a human touching a steering wheel be considered the ultimate, unacceptable safety risk to the public?
It is entirely possible. The very thing that feels like independence to us today, driving our own car, might be outlawed in the future specifically to protect us from our own human nature.
When we started today, we mentioned that getting in a car and driving just feels like a simple daily habit. But as this technology grows and evolves, it is very possible that someday that daily habit will be taken away from us entirely for the greater good of everyone's safety.
It is a profound shift to consider, and it changes how you look at every vehicle on the road today.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. The physical world around us is changing rapidly, and as our source materials suggest, the best thing we can do is keep learning, keep asking difficult questions, and keep thinking critically about the future we are building. We will see you next time.